What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love Wu-Tang, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today we'll be talking about Wu-Tang, an American Saga, Season 3, Episode 4. This is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And overall, man, this was a very good episode. The boys, they had issues with each other over money. It seems like that tour was going real good until they really got down south. And of course, that whole article came out, and that reporter, man, he switched up RZA's words, and everybody was coming at Wu-Tang. But we know the episode ended out with U-God hearing about his son being shot. And you already know how U-God be, man. He's thinking like, man, I got to do something about it. He took the strap from Ghostface, and now it's looking like he's about to go out there and do something stupid. So I cannot wait to see the next episode. But let's hop right into this recap. The title of the episode is called Daytona 500. The description of the episode reads, the Wu-Tang Clan goes on tour of the East Coast as we follow what happens between the shows on the tour bus. The guys quickly discover that living on a bus together might not be all fun, as they are forced to deal with their problems face to face. So those are the key elements of this episode. They definitely dealt with a lot of problems face to face. It was a lot of disagreements about money, who's supposed to get that, who's a part of this group. I mean, it was all over the place, but those conversations needed to happen before that tour even started, which we know RZA, he was trying to control everything, and he felt like the way he was doing things was the best way, which it could be, but if they would have had these conversations before, it probably would have stopped all those arguments that they had while on that tour bus, which we know most of it was about money, right? So we're going to see how the story continues. Let's begin the recap. What did we see in episode 4 titled Daytona 500? Now the episode starts out with all the crew members. They're taking pictures. Of course, they have to do certain interviews with this reporter. And this reporter, I believe, was said to get like an hour of their time to do his little piece or whatever. We find out later on in the episode, he did his little story, but he switched some things up. Now Cherie, she's pretty much telling Ghostface like, look, I know them groupies gonna be on you, but make sure you protect yourself. Don't fall in love and all that. So we know she probably not necessarily wanting him to mess around with girls, but she knows it's probably gonna happen, especially with him being on tour for that, long amount of time. And the girl that he was messing around with, she made it difficult for him to resist her. Trust me, he had some problems with that girl. Now, we see your boy U-God. He's with his son. He's telling him he's going to buy him something on tour. And I didn't really think nothing of it at the very beginning, but we know later on in the episode, we hear about him getting shot, which was completely messed up. I'm like, damn, U-God cannot catch a break at all in this show. And then we see the reporter. He's trying to talk to RZA. RZA is really not trying to say anything to the guy. He does tell him the story about his grandpa and how he worked for all these years. I believe like over 30 something years with his job. And then when he was about to get his pension, they end up firing him. And then he decided to go back and work at his old job. His grandfather really valued education. And I don't really think nothing of it. Like, okay, that's it. I mean, the dude ain't gonna really do nothing. ODB decides to have this dude smoke, and the dude starts tweaking out. RZA ends up getting him a taxi, and we find out later on in the episode, once that high went down, he decided to tell his own story. Now, Power, he brings all the Wu Wear merchandise with him because he wants to sell it on tour. It's a smart idea. Might as well make money. RZA, he wants to be on the bus that Divine is on and Mook and Power is on. I guess the management tour bus. He doesn't really want to be on the tour bus with all the Wu-Tang members because he can't concentrate and he feels like he needs to control things. He just wants to be on the bus where it's not a lot of loudness and drama in his eyes. But Divine tells him, look, you're an artist. You need to stay on this bus and be with your fellow crew members. Now the tour starts. Everything is going well, at least at the very beginning. And once Bobby talks about, money, giving, I guess, a piece of the cut to Killer, we can see your boy Ray have an issue with that. He's like, what? I didn't know he was a member. See, this is what I'm talking about. If you had these conversations before, maybe these issues like this would not happen while you're on tour, but we know Ray will bring that back up at the end of the episode. Now, we're on day 4 of the tour to get to Virginia Beach, and then they see, of course, Mook outside. He's getting his cut from the promoters, and throughout the episode we continue to see him get his cut or whatever, and you can tell that Ray and Ghostface was kind of like, okay, what is this dude doing? Like, he's up to something. He's definitely getting something on the side, and y'all know Ghostface end up questioning him later on in the episode. Now Ghostface is kicking it with Karina, and I looked it up. Apparently this Karina character is supposed to be based on Corinne Steffen, so now it makes a lot of sense on why Ghostface was struggling to get this girl up off of him. I mean, she was going to each and every city with them. I believe like 4 stops from what RZA was saying. And you guys let me know, did y'all hear about that, her playing Corinne Steffens in this show? Which, if that is the case, if I'm Ghostface, I'm taking complete advantage of this opportunity. But that's just me. Now, Power confronts this bootlegger, and this guy, he's smart. He's been following them on each stop, selling merchandise, pretty much getting his cut, and he was selling female clothes. And Wu did not have any female clothes, so of course, Power's like, okay, how do you do what you do? And he decides to hire this guy, which was a smart move. I mean, you can use him and his resources to move more, merchandise and make more money. Now, we get to the driver, and this guy was on one, y'all. He didn't have no clothes on. He's using the George Foreman grill. He got all types of stuff on it. Ray was kind of, trying to figure out who was using this grill because he saw some stuff on it earlier on in the episode. Come to find out, it's this freaky driver. And this guy decided to try to cuss them out. Once he started talking stuff, they beat that boy down, and we ain't seen him since that moment in the episode. Now, we get back to Ghostface, and he's kicking it with Karina. They talking about planets and the solar system and all that stuff. Look, this man is getting high level, we know what. He ain't about to let this girl go. She done been on 4 stops. He having a good old time. Meanwhile, RZA, he's like, man, I don't like this. And I knew this was going to happen. I knew RZA would have an issue with this because Cherie is his sister. So, of course, he goes to Divine. He's like, look, man, we got to do something about this. But Divine tells him, like, look, we cannot be in their business. I'm pretty sure Cherie knows about it. Let them do them. And Divine kind of already knew what was going down, but he did not tell Bobby because he knew Bobby will act like this. So he's pretty much telling him, just let them handle their own issues. Then we get back to RZA. He's telling the boys, like, look, we all going to have some interviews. It's going to be like 3 sets of interviews, and he groups each member up with other members. You guys is pissed because he's like, look, I'm not trying to be with no Method Man. Method Man going to take all the time. All he does is talks, and we know Method Man has the album out. He's real popular, and you guys does not believe he's going to get the time to even say anything. So, of course, he's upset with Bobby. But Bobby's like, screw all that. It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. And I know I do go back and forth from Bobby to RZA. That's because I was so used to calling him Bobby in the first 2 seasons of this show. But if you notice, in season 3, they're calling all the characters by their real stage names more than they did at the very beginning, which makes a lot of sense. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Now, we get back to Ghostface, and he's kicking it with Karina. Actually, he's saying goodbye. And I know he did not want to say goodbye. He can't wait to hook back up with her. While he's outside, he sees Mook out there, and he's like, look, man, I know what you're doing. You getting some money from the side. Like, what are you doing out there? And of course, Mook is like, yeah, I'm getting my cut from the side from these promoters. They're selling extra tickets, so why would I not get extra money? And Ghostface is kind of pissed off, like, man, like, you ain't tell us about it. Like, he wants his cut pretty much. And your boy Mook, he damn near turned into the character that he played on Lottery Ticket when he was talking about tickets. He wasn't playing around. He pretty much told him, look, I do what I do. You ain't losing no money. It is what it is. The reason you got that chain on is because of who? Me. So Mook was definitely on one in this episode, and he held his ground. I cannot wait to see his character in Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3. But Ghostface goes back to Ray, and he tells him about what Mook is doing, and he's more upset about the principal because he's like, man, he ain't even telling us about what he's doing, which is messed up. I mean, I'm not going against his hustle, but at least let us know. It just seems like it's kind of shady because we don't know what's going on, which makes a lot of sense. Now, we get to the news article. As you can see, this guy that was interviewing him at the very beginning of the episode, talking about, Wu-Tang or whatever is insulting the South. RZA is pissed off, you know what I'm saying? Because he took his words, he pretty much mixed them up, and he's making it seem like, Wu-Tang is hating on the South, lack of education and all that stuff. So now, while they're on tour and they're in the South, they have to worry about all the backlash that they're about to get. Now, Ray and all them, they're gambling, and he's running his mouth talking about what he can do. Killer, he comes in and he beats him in the game, right? And Ray is pissed off. For a minute, I thought Ray was going to hit him because he was already upset that he was getting a cut of their money. He goes back and he's having a conversation with Bobby, and he's telling him, like, look, I thought it was 8 members of this group, not 9. Like, why is Killer getting a cut? Bobby's like, look, he's on tour with us, so he gets a cut, plain and simple. And of course, Ray is not feeling that. And he's already upset. He's telling Bobby, like, look, why are you in the back? Like, What makes you so special? Like, what's going on? So now Bobby's like, all right, this is what we gonna do. We gonna go to the front, have a conversation, a group conversation with everybody, and ask them what they feel about, Killer getting the cut. So that's exactly what ended up happening. But all it was just a huge argument about money, who's getting certain cuts, a tier system. Since this person has been a part of the group longer, or he got an album out, they should get this person should get that. So it's pretty much like a back and forth thing going on with the group members. Method Man, he's like, look, he ain't really trying to hear all that. He wasn't even trying to argue. Of course, they're talking to him like, look, you got an album, you good. You making money on the side or whatever. So it was just a lot of back and forth. So Killer said, you know what? He took his money out and he put it up. He said, look, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Since this argument and this disagreement is about me, I'm gonna be all right. I'm a G.O.D. And after he did that, Mook comes on the bus and said, look, we got some problems. You know what I'm saying? We got this next stop. But these fans, they kind of pissed off because of that article about the South. So we got to watch ourselves. They come back from performing. And then, we see stuff getting thrown at the bus. Your boy Ghostface, he had his strap. I mean, it was about to go down. But they end up getting out of there without getting hurt. Now we get to the end of the episode. We see U-God on the phone. He gets a call about his son. And apparently his son done got shot. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know about this as far as his story. I know a lot of OG Wu-Tang fans. I mean, y'all may have heard about this or whatever. But I was like, man, that's crazy that it went down like that. Of course, he wants to get off the bus. He walking outside. Your boy Power is telling him, don't do nothing stupid. Let's go to the next city. You can catch a plane back or whatever. But U-God ain't trying to hear any of that. You know what I'm saying? He's not trying to hear any of that. And he just walks off. And Ghostface is like, man, my gun is missing. He got my strap. So now this dude is just walking, on the road, strapped up, and he ain't even at home. And knowing his history, something bad is just bound to happen. And I hope that is not the case. I really can't wait to see episode 5. This episode, man, overall was one of the best episodes of the season, to me at least. I mean, if I could have added anything, I guess us seeing them perform or whatever. But, I mean, that's a small little piece. I mean, some people don't really care, but I would have been, cool if they would have just added that in there. But it is what it is. Y'all let me know. What do y'all think about episode 4? I can't wait to see the next one. I will be dropping a recap for episode 5 next week, so get ready for it. But I want to thank you guys once again for all the love, all the support, and I will catch y'all on the next one. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.